Good morning, everybody. Thanks to those of you who swam here this morning. My name is Mark Krikorian. I'm executive director of the center, and this issue of asylum, people often call political asylum, but asylum is broader than just that, is an important one. I think even apart from the numbers, it's especially important because it represents a kind of voluntary limitation on our sovereignty. In other words, that an illegal immigrant has the right under treaty and under law to apply for asylum, and if he qualifies under our rules, we have to let him stay, even though we didn't agree to his arrival in the first place. It's in principle, it's an important element of immigration law that's different qualitatively from the other elements of it. And as far as the security aspects of asylum go, it's it has real consequences. I mean, the Tsarnaev brothers, the whole family were asylum recipients. Just recently, there was a Moroccan former foreign student turned illegal alien turned asylum seeker who was arrested for a terrorist plot. And even earlier, Ramzi Youssef was an asylum applicant. The blind sheik was an asylum applicant. Miraim Al-Khansi, who was the CIA shooter over on 123 at the left turn to go into the CIA, where there's still a monument for the two people he murdered, was an illegal alien turned asylum applicant. So the consequences of asylum and how it's managed are extremely important for immigration in general, and also even more specifically for security. And so, to that end, we've brought this panel together. The news peg, as it were, is a paper we've published on the asylum issue by Dan Cadman, who will be the first speaker. He's a longtime INS and then ICE official, a field agent, supervisor, a suit, was involved in most aspects of immigration enforcement's long experience and some deep knowledge on the issue. And then commenting both on his paper and then more generally as well on the issue are Michael Knowles, who is an asylum officer himself at USCIS, though not obviously speaking for the agency, and is also president of the union local. The card says he's president of the entire American Federation of Government Employees, which is not the case. The president of the local here for USCIS officers, and he'll be telling us some about what's involved, what's the work of an actual asylum officer in the real world, what kind of changes or resources or whatever might make that easier to do. And then last but not least, Jan Ting, who's a professor at Temple, teaches immigration and tax law and various other things, is on the board of directors of CIS, but for the purposes of this panel, more importantly, was involved in running the political appointee in charge of asylum in the first Bush administration, George H.W. Bush administration, and has quite a bit to say, from the sort of management end of how asylum works. So we'll start with Dan, and then Michael, and then Jan, and then we'll have some discussion and Q&A after that.